My childhood sweetheart, Isabelle Winters, was born beautiful. Unfortunately, she was also pathologically possessive. Growing up, any girl who got too close to me would inevitably find a dead mouse, a dead insect, or a threatening note in her desk drawer. It wasn't just girls, either. Any guy I'd throw an arm around would get cornered by a group of thugs off campus and warned away. Before long, she was the only friend I had left. Then, in high school, her parents moved with her to another country. It was like the sun breaking through the clouds for the first time. My whole world lit up. Without her, my life could actually be happy. Time flew. By the fall semester of my junior year of college, I was strolling past the campus gates, a boba tea in my hand, without a care in the world. Suddenly, I saw a familiar, stunning silhouette, the tiny waist, the long legs, the angelic face with curves that seemed sculpted by a divine hand. Splat! The boba tea slipped from my grasp. Students walking by all paused, their eyes glued to the impossibly beautiful girl, completely captivated. Only I felt a tidal wave of dread crash over me. In that instant, it felt like my sky was falling. My dangerously possessive childhood sweetheart, Isabelle Winters. What was she doing back? A flood of half-dead memories surged into my mind. I trembled, my heart pounding with a familiar, suffocating fear. Isabelle tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and walked toward me. Ethan, long time no see. I stumbled back instinctively. You, what are you doing here? What's wrong? Not happy to see me. Isabelle glanced at the milky tea puddled on the pavement. Come on, I'll buy you another. Under the envious, hateful glares of a dozen guys, she dragged me to the nearest boba shop. Hi, 1 brown sugar boba, standard ice, 75% sugar. Even after all these years, Isabelle knew my order by heart. She handed the new drink to me. I took it, stepping back warily. What do you really want? Isabelle let out a small, amused laugh. Don't be so dramatic. I was young and stupid back then. I did a lot of dumb things, but I'll never do them again. I promise. I didn't believe her. Then swear that from now on, you won't harass me again. A pair of dimples appeared on her cheeks, her smile curving like a crescent moon. She raised her hand and actually swore an oath to the heavens. I relaxed a little, noticing that she did seem different, more mature. Weren't you studying in the States? Why are you back? I asked. I transferred, she said. I'm at the university right next to yours. A jolt went through me. Transferred? To Northeastern. What about your aunt and uncle? Are they back too? I asked quickly. Isabelle's eyes suddenly welled with tears. She threw her arms around me, her tears soaking my shoulder. My parents. 6 months ago. A car accident. Now it's just me. She started sobbing. I only know you here. So I came back. My heart ached for her. Putting all the crazy stuff aside, we had grown up together. There was a real history there. If you need anything, I comforted her. Just tell me. I'll help you. Isabelle pulled away, wiping her tears. She reached into her bag and pulled out a box. A gift for you. I stared at the Gundam model in her hands, my eyes wide. It was a Freedom Gundam, a global limited edition. You couldn't get it even if you had the money. How much was it? I'll Venmo you, I asked. Isabelle hesitated for a moment, then smiled. $1,400. The number made me wince, but it was overshadowed by a sense of relief. My old flame. She really had changed. In the past, she would have just forced it on me for free. I pulled out my phone to send her the money, but then came the awkward part. I didn't have her number. I deleted all her contact info the moment she moved. Isabelle saw my predicament, quickly took my phone, and tapped away. This is my number. You can't delete it again. She smiled as she handed it back. I took the phone, feeling a little guilty. Sent. Make sure you accept it. Isabelle accepted the Venmo payment. I have to go finish my registration at the university. See you later. Yeah. See you. Watching her walk away, I felt a mix of emotions. Maybe time really could change a person. She seemed so normal now. If she'd been like this back then, I never would have avoided her. Just as I was lost in thought, my phone rang. I glanced at the screen. Crap. I'd completely forgotten about Chloe. I answered immediately, and Chloe's voice came through the line. Hey, Ethan, what are you doing? I've been waiting for you at the back gate for half an hour. I'm so sorry. Something came up. I'm on my way right now, I said, already breaking into a run. Chloe was a girl I'd met in a club during my freshman year. She was petite and cute, with a bright, cheerful personality. We got along great. I had asked her to see a movie tonight, but Isabelle's reappearance had thrown everything off schedule. I sprinted to meet her, and we went to see Spider-Man. Across the Spider-Verse. Have to say, the movie was amazing. After the movie, as we usually did, we ended up in the small, wooded grove behind the school. Chloe and I were in that blurry space. More than friends but not quite a couple, floating in that hazy, wonderful stage of almost romance. We sat on a wooden bench, and she looked at me, her eyes blinking. "Ethan, you said you had something important to tell me today. What was it?" I froze. My plan had been to ask her out today, but now, with the thought of Isabelle back in town, the words wouldn't come out. Chloe got a little impatient. "What is it? Just say it." She looked at me, her eyes shimmering with affection. In the dark, alone together, the atmosphere turned electric. The hormonal teenager in me couldn't resist. I leaned in and kissed her. Chloe froze for a few seconds, then pushed me away, her cheeks bright red. She looked at me seriously. "Why did you kiss me?" I stammered, unable to form a coherent thought. Her expression grew even more serious. "You can't just go around kissing girls." I took her cue and matched her serious tone. "It wasn't just any kiss. I like you." Chloe pressed on. "You like me?" And I let it all out. "Will you be my girlfriend?" Chloe nodded, her eyes glistening. "Okay, I will." Overjoyed, I pulled her into a hug, ready to kiss her again, but she suddenly pushed me away, pointing a finger past my shoulder. "Stop. There's someone there. I think it's a girl." "Whoa, look. She's really pretty." I followed her finger and my blood ran cold. Of all the terrible luck, the person standing there was my childhood sweetheart, Isabelle Winters. In the darkness, her hands were clenched into tight fists, her face an icy mask of fury. Isabelle started walking toward us, one step at a time. I was paralyzed with tension. Chloe asked, confused, "Ethan, why are you shaking so hard?" Terrified of what Isabelle might do. I grabbed Chloe's hand, stood up, and bolted. "Ow. Ethan, you're hurting me. What is wrong with you?" I ignored Chloe's complaints and picked up the pace, a single thought dominating my mind. Run, run, run. I sprinted the whole way, not stopping until I dragged Chloe back to my apartment. She rubbed her wrist, her face a mask of annoyance. "Are you crazy? You made me break a sweat." I forced a laugh. Sorry. She noticed my tense expression. "What happened back there? You look like you've seen a ghost." Isabelle was my childhood nightmare. A story I'd never told Chloe. I hadn't before, and I didn't want to now. I was afraid she'd misunderstand or overthink things. I came up with a clumsy excuse. "It's late. Just felt like a run, you know? Get some exercise." Chloe looked at me suspiciously, then glanced around the apartment. It was her first time here. "Whoa, you live in a place this nice all by yourself? You must be loaded." Chloe's family was working class. She'd had a part-time job since she was a teenager. Compared to her, my family was definitely well off. But compared to Isabelle, I was practically broke. After looking around, Chloe suddenly crossed her arms, her expression wary. "Ethan, did you bring me back to your place because you're planning something?" My only goal had been to get away from Isabelle. I hadn't been thinking about anything else, but now that she mentioned it, the idea did cross my mind. Hehe. Because the dorms locked down at 10 p.m. She couldn't get back and had to stay the night. Chloe pointed at the living room couch. "You're sleeping here tonight," she instructed, before heading off to take a shower. There was no way I was going to let an opportunity like this slip by. After some sweet talking and persistence, I managed to get into bed with her. "Just cuddling," she warned me repeatedly. "Nothing else is allowed." I agreed verbally, then promptly crossed every line she had drawn. Afterward, Chloe hid under the covers, sniffling and muttering, "Liar!" She peeked her head out, her big, watery eyes fixed on me. "You have to take responsibility for this." She was my first, and I promised her I would. Just as I was about to go for a second round, there was a sudden knock at the front door. The unexpected sound made us both jump. Chloe, wrapped in the blanket, complained, "Who could that be at this hour? Go see." I threw on some clothes, went to the door, and peered through the peephole. I saw 2 uniformed officers. "Hello? We've received a report of prostitution at this address. Please open the door for an inspection." I was stunned. Prostitution? What the hell? With a clear conscience, I opened the door and let the officers in. They asked us a few questions and had us show them our text messages. After confirming it was all a misunderstanding, they left. But the whole ordeal had killed the mood completely. Chloe turned over and went to sleep. I lay next to her, tossing and turning all night. Something about this was strange. Chloe and I were a legitimate couple. How could we have been reported? Who was trying to frame us? The first person who came to mind was Isabelle. This was exactly the kind of thing she would do. But this apartment was new. My parents had just bought it for me a little while ago. There was no way Isabelle could know the address. The more I thought about it, the more uneasy I felt. Sure enough, the next day, things escalated. A vile rumor started spreading around campus. Someone was saying that Chloe was an promiscuous girl, making quick cash in illicit ways. They even posted pictures of her entering my apartment and of the police visit on a campus gossip page. They included her phone number and a list of prices. But my face in all the photos was carefully pixelated. It was a clear, targeted campaign of cyberbullying against Chloe. A horde of shameless guys started sending Chloe friend requests and messages based on the contact info from the page. The messages were disgusting. How could any girl endure that kind of slander? Chloe completely shut down, hiding in her dorm room and crying. I was furious. Chloe was my girlfriend. I wouldn't let anyone hurt her. The first person I thought of was Isabelle. Yes, it had to be her. It was exactly her style. I couldn't imagine anyone else doing it. That afternoon, I stormed over to Northeastern University next door. At the main gate, I ran right into Isabelle. She had on a white floral dress and looked detached, surrounded by a crowd of guys trying to get her attention. When Isabelle saw me, her eyes lit up. She trotted over. "Ethan, what are you doing here? I'm so happy you came to see me." I was seething. I grabbed her by the wrist and roared, "Isabelle!" The grip hurt her, and she winced. "Ow! Ethan, what's wrong? What's wrong?" I sneered. "You can come after me if you want, but you don't touch Chloe." Isabelle's expression turned cold. "Chloe? Is that the girl you were with last night?" "Yes." I warned her. "Chloe is my girlfriend. If you dare hurt her again, I won't let you get away with it." As soon as the words left my mouth, tears started streaming down Isabelle's face. She was already beautiful, and her crying was a heartbreakingly lovely sight. Several of the guys around us stepped forward to defend her. "Hey, what school are you from? Leave Isabelle alone, or you'll have to deal with me." A few girls were whispering nearby. Getting violent with a girl in public? That guy's such a creep. The accusations flew at me, and I felt like I was screaming into a void. Finally, Isabelle shouted at the crowd, "This is between me and Ethan. All of you, shut up." I wasn't buying her act. "Stop with the crocodile tears, Isabelle. You're the most poisonous person I know." "Ethan, I don't know what you're talking about," she sobbed. "Stop playing dumb." I shot back. "I'm asking you, was it you who spread those disgusting rumors about Chloe?" Isabelle paused for a moment, then asked seriously, "You think I did that?" "Who else would it be?" I was certain it was her. Isabelle had been ruthless since we were kids. Once, a girl had gotten too close to me, and Isabelle had pushed her down a flight of stairs. She even sent a pack of vicious dogs to attack her in the street. If an adult hadn't intervened, who knows what would have happened? Deranged, pathological, and utterly ruthless. That was why I was so terrified of Isabelle Winters. The crowd of students around us was growing. I didn't have any concrete evidence yet, so I decided to retreat for now. Isabelle blocked my path, crying and pleading. "Ethan, it really wasn't me. Please, don't hate me. Okay?" I shoved her aside. "I'll find the proof. And when I do, I swear I won't let you get away with this." The clueless onlookers shot me disdainful looks and middle fingers. What a total loser. I turned and walked away, heading straight for a law firm. I spent all my saved-up allowance to hire a lawyer to trace the source of the rumors. Whoever did this had to face the consequences of the law. Spreading false, defamatory rumors like that was a serious crime, and I had no intention of letting Isabelle off the hook. If I couldn't even protect my own girlfriend, what kind of man was I? I would not let her hurt Chloe. The lawyer was efficient. Within a few days, he had uncovered the entire story. The truth was staggering. It wasn't Isabelle. The lawyer told me the person who started the rumors was Chloe's ex-boyfriend. To get revenge on her for breaking up with him, he had stalked her and spread the lies. When I found out, I was both furious and devastated. An ex-boyfriend? I had no idea she even had an ex. Chloe had always told me she'd been single her whole life before she met me. The lawyer asked if I wanted to press charges. I called Chloe to let her decide. On the other end of the line, she was silent for a long time before she finally stammered that she didn't want to sue. I let out a cold laugh and hung up. Chloe tried calling me back, but I ignored every call. I was even considering breaking up with her. An hour later, Chloe showed up at my apartment, out of breath, holding a tabby cat. I sat on the couch, glaring at her, my voice dripping with ice. Heh, I had no idea you had an ex-boyfriend. Chloe sat on the floor, taking my hand and explaining in a low voice. He's my neighbor from back home. He pursued me, but I never said yes. Ethan, I swear I didn't lie to you. You're my first. I yanked my hand away and yelled. Then why won't you sue him? He ruined your reputation. This whole thing had not only wounded my pride, but had also made me wrongly accuse Isabelle. The thought of it all made my anger simmer, a tight knot of frustration in my chest. Chloe started crying, hugging me as she explained. Because we're neighbors. We're from a small town. Our families know each other. He helps my parents out back home. I can't just sue him. Besides, it's not that big of a deal. He knows he was wrong, and he won't do it again. Not that big of a deal? I almost got into a huge fight with Isabelle over this. I spent my money on a lawyer. I did all of that to protect her. I did so much for her. And she tells me it's not that big of a deal? I felt like my chest was about to explode. Chloe sensed my rage. She kept apologizing, then began to actively try and soothe me with her body. Her soft persistence did manage to quell a lot of my anger. As she was leaving, she left the cat behind. I'm leaving Mimi with you. I'm her mom, and you're her dad. I knew that cat. It was a tabby Chloe had raised since she was a kid. She cherished it, even bringing it all the way from her hometown to keep at school. Giving her to me was her way of making peace. But now, looking at that cat, everything about it annoyed me. Never mind its looks. It just arched its back and hissed at me. It would yowl in the middle of the night, ruining my sleep. I was annoyed, but I didn't hurt it. I even went online and ordered cat food for it. The next evening, I came back to my apartment and was hit by the smell of something burning. Then I saw the cat's body. It was lying motionless on the floor, a chewed-up electrical cord next to it. The cause of death was obvious. It had played with the wrong wire. I immediately called Chloe and told her what happened. She rushed over, staring in shock at the electrocuted corpse. I put a hand on her shoulder to comfort her. I'm sorry for your loss. Chloe screamed at me. Ethan, even if you're mad at me, you shouldn't have taken it out on Mimi. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Mimi chewed through a power cord. I never mistreated her. Chloe was hysterical. Mimi has been with me for years and she's always been fine. I leave her with you for one day, and she's dead? You didn't take care of her. I was heartbroken, but out of respect for the dead cat, I apologized. I'm sorry. Chloe wiped her tears, picked up the cat's body, and left without looking back. In that moment, I was deeply disappointed in her. I never even wanted that mischievous cat in the first place. She forced it on me, and now that it was dead from a freak accident, she was blaming me for everything. On top of that, I still had a knot in my stomach from the last incident. If she wanted to be angry, fine. I didn't care if we broke up. I decided not to contact her. The next day, the weather was gloomy. As I left my last class at noon, a heavy rain began to fall. I opened my umbrella and walked out of the campus gate. There, standing alone in the downpour, was Isabelle. She was completely soaked. She looked like an exquisite porcelain doll, standing perfectly still as the rain streamed down her face. A tragically beautiful sight. I rushed over and held the umbrella over her. What are you doing here? Why didn't you bring an umbrella? When Isabelle saw me, her dimples immediately appeared, her face lighting up with a smile as bright as a crescent moon. It wasn't raining when I left, she explained. I frowned, scolding her. Are you an idiot? It's pouring. Couldn't you have gone and bought an umbrella? Isabelle looked wronged. I was afraid that if I went to buy one, I might miss you. You haven't been talking to me these past few days. I wanted to see you. Hearing that, my heart felt like it had been struck by a shovel, a sharp pain that made me want to cry. I took her back to my apartment and urged her to take a hot shower to avoid catching a cold. A little while later, Isabelle came out of the bathroom wearing one of my long-sleeved shirts. The shirt couldn't hide her long, pale, beautiful legs. She sat on the couch, hugging her knees, looking perfectly behaved. I handed her a mug of hot tea. Drink this slowly. Warm yourself up. Thank you. She took the mug, took a few sips, and then cautiously explained, Ethan, what you said the other day. It really wasn't me. I apologized to her. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Isabelle's dimples deepened, and she smiled like a happy child. Ethan, I'm not mad at you. She had completely changed. She was gentle, understanding, and it made you want to protect her. Time really could change a person. I wanted to know what her life had been like all those years abroad. Isabelle told me her life in America had been simple. A straight line between 3 points. Eating, sleeping, studying, and thinking about me every single day. The prejudice I held against her began to dissolve. Isabelle looked at me gently. Ethan, do you remember our promise? Of course, I remembered. Isabelle's family was wealthy, and she'd had an elite education since she was a child. Her parents were incredibly controlling, scheduling every minute of her life without leaving her even a single moment of freedom. One day, little Isabelle couldn't take the pressure anymore and hid in a park, crying. I happened to be passing by and offered her a Jolly Rancher. Here, don't cry. Little Isabelle tasted it. It's so sweet. You've never had one before? I asked. She shook her head. My parents are really strict. They never let me have candy. I thought she was cute and pitiful. Then I'll marry you when we grow up. I'll give you all the good food you want and make you happy. Little Isabelle stopped crying and held out her pinky. Pinky swear. Cross your heart. Hope to die. You can't ever lie. I hooked my pinky with hers. Yep. I'm a big boy. Big boys don't lie. She smiled. Let's grow up fast, so we can get married fast. Because of that promise, Isabelle had become obsessed. Back in the present, she suddenly hugged me. Ethan, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I've always loved you. I want to marry you, be with you for this life, the next life and the life after that. Please don't leave me, okay? I'll be good. I'll listen to everything you say. In that moment, the last of my defenses crumbled. I hugged her back. Isabelle seized the opportunity, launching her offensive. She was already breathtakingly beautiful, and now she looked so vulnerable and sweet. I couldn't resist in the slightest. Finally, we slept together. Looking at the stain on the sofa, I felt like a real piece of trash. I hadn't even broken up with Chloe yet. But that night with Chloe, there hadn't been a mark like this. Heh. And she had denied that the person who spread the rumors was her ex-boyfriend. I didn't care if she was a virgin or not, but Chloe had lied to me. Thinking of that, my guilt lessened. Isabelle then pulled me into the bedroom and took from me with a fierce hunger. I didn't get a wink of sleep all night. When I woke up the next day, I found she wasn't beside me. I walked out of the bedroom, holding my aching back, and saw the dining table set with milk, wontons, and a heart-shaped fried egg. Next to it was a note. Hubby, I went to class, made you breakfast, remember to heat it up. Love, your Isabelle. I felt a wave of pure happiness. So, time really could change a person. The way she was now, she was practically the perfect wife. Just as I finished breakfast, Isabelle came running back, out of breath. I thought you went to class? I asked, surprised. Isabelle hugged me, nuzzling against me. Hubby, I missed you. I skipped class to come back and be with you. I laughed and tapped her on the head. We have all the time in the world. You don't need to rush back for this. Go back to class. She burrowed her head into my chest. No, I just want to be with you. Isabelle and I officially started living together. For the next few days, Chloe didn't contact me. Her roommate did send me a text, saying it was normal for couples to fight, and that I should go make up with Chloe. Of course, I had no intention of reaching out. I was hoping our relationship would just fade out until we broke up. But Chloe couldn't stand it. She cornered me in the middle of a campus path, her eyes filled with resentment. Ethan, what have you been doing all this time? Better to rip the Band-Aid off. Since I couldn't avoid it, I decided to be direct. Let's break up. Chloe was completely stunned, her eyes wide. What? What are you even saying? My voice was firm. Let's break up. My coldness seemed to frighten her. She lost her initial fire, her whole demeanor deflating as she softened her tone. Ethan, I can forgive you for what happened with Mimi. I shook my head. It's not because of that. Then why? She cried out. Just as I was about to explain, Isabelle suddenly appeared. She linked her arm with mine, pressing her body close. Because Ethan is my husband. Chloe's face was a mask of disbelief. You're the girl from that night? You're saying Ethan is your husband? Then what does that make me? Isabelle looked down on her, as if from a great height. You're just a nobody. In looks, body, and overall presence, Isabelle completely outshone Chloe. Chloe, feeling both inadequate and furious, screamed at me, "Ethan, we were only together for a few days and you cheated on me. You're such a scumbag." Her shout attracted a crowd of students. I couldn't explain. In fact, what Chloe said was completely true. Isabelle's gaze was like a knife, cold and sharp. As she looked at Chloe, a dangerous aura emanated from her. In that moment, her killing intent felt almost tangible. "Get lost." Chloe was so intimidated by her presence that she stumbled back several steps. I was worried Isabelle would lose control, so I quickly pulled her away. Behind us, I could hear Chloe's sobs, which officially branded me a cheater. Back at the apartment, I expected Isabelle to throw a fit, but she was unnaturally calm, immediately busying herself in the kitchen to make me dinner, as if nothing had happened. She just became even clingier, wanting to be stuck to my side 24/7. The next morning, Isabelle went to class with me, staking her claim in front of all my classmates and friends. The girls looked at me with contempt, but couldn't help but be amazed by her beauty. The guys, meanwhile, were bad-mouthing my character in private while grinding their teeth with jealousy. Isabelle had a great image and an elegant air about her. Taking her out with me felt great. As for Chloe, I heard she was almost hit by a car the previous night. A well-known Tesla had suddenly lost control. The incident was a big deal. A reporter even came to campus to interview Chloe about it. I was worried, but it wasn't my place to ask. At least she was okay. During the time Isabelle and I lived together, she took care of all the housework. Cooking, laundry, cleaning, and satisfying my every need. She was as meek as a lamb. Honestly, if she had been like this before, we would have gotten together long ago, and Chloe would have never been in the picture. We were blissfully in our honeymoon phase, a kind of comfort that Chloe could never give me. One evening at dinner, Isabelle got a call. I glanced at the number. It was from the United States. Isabelle's beautiful eyes narrowed. She stepped away from me and went into the bedroom to answer the phone. A little while later, she hurriedly packed a bag and booked a flight to the US for that night. "Hubby, there was a small problem with my transfer paperwork. I need to go back to the States to get it sorted out. It should only take about 5 days. I was reluctant to see her go. Do you want me to go with you?" Isabelle waved her hand and came over to give me a passionate kiss. "Just wait for me at home, hubby. I'll be back before you know it." "Okay." I nodded. The few days she was gone, I felt a kind of emptiness. But that emptiness was soon shattered by Chloe. Late one night, Chloe showed up at my door, holding a small puppy. "What are you doing here?" I asked, surprised. "Ethan, I was wrong," she said. "I know Mimi's death wasn't your fault. I'm sorry." She held the puppy out to me. "This little guy. I want you to take care of him." I was speechless. Chloe always used animals as an apology or a peace offering. I refused immediately. "No way. If something happens to it, you'll just blame me again." Chloe shook her head vigorously. "I won't. I'll never do that again. I'll move in and we can take care of him together. Okay?" How could I possibly agree? "No. I have a girlfriend now." Chloe's face fell. "Then break up with her. Kick her out." "No," I said firmly. "I can't do that to her." Chloe let out an angry laugh. "You can't do that? But that's exactly what you did to me." I couldn't argue. I just stood there in silence. Chloe took a deep breath. "I get it. I'm not as pretty as her. My body isn't as good. My family isn't." She paused, then gently placed a hand on her stomach. "But I have this." I froze, feeling like I'd been struck by lightning. What? What are you saying?" "That night I stayed over at your place," Chloe explained. "After I went home, my period never came. I went to the doctor for a checkup, and I found out. I was so shocked I could barely think straight. Are you sure it's mine?" Chloe was furious. "Ethan, what is that supposed to mean? I'm not that kind of girl." "Yes." I lied. "I had an ex-boyfriend, but we broke up back in freshman year." She threw her arms around me, crying. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I shouldn't have hidden it from you, shouldn't have lied. It's because I like you so much. I didn't want you to have a single bad impression of me." She took my hand and placed it on her stomach. "But now we have a baby, and a baby can't be without its father." In that moment, I wanted to die. I wanted to tell her to get an abortion, but it was a human life. I couldn't say the words. I couldn't bear the thought. My mind was a complete mess. I had no idea what to do. Chloe seized the opportunity, pulling me into the bedroom and showing me her affection. I was in a daze and half resisting, Half giving in, I let her have her way. In the middle of it all, Isabelle called. I reached for the phone, but Chloe snatched it away. She turned it off. Focus. A long time later, Chloe was resting in my arms. I looked closely and noticed a number of fresh cuts and bruises on her body. What happened? Did you get hit by that car? Chloe pouted. I don't know what's going on. My luck has been terrible lately. I get bitten by a dog, almost get run over, my bike brakes fail. All sorts of accidents. Feels like the whole world has become dangerous. But don't worry, they won't scar. I can always get laser treatment if they do. Hearing this, a storm raged in my heart. How familiar it all sounded. Chloe hesitated, then said, Ethan, I have to tell you something. Don't get mad. What else happened? Just tell me. I urged. Chloe answered cautiously, my neighbor. My ex. He sent someone to tell me that it wasn't him who spread the rumors. Someone paid him a lot of money to take the blame. What? I was horrified. A terrible answer began to form in my mind. At the same time, a heart-wrenching yelp came from outside the bedroom. Chloe and I threw on our clothes and ran out. What we saw was a scene that will be burned into my memory forever. My Gundam model was holding a pair of scissors, disemboweling Chloe's puppy. Ah! Chloe screamed and fainted. I wasn't doing much better. I gasped for air, my hands and feet went numb, and my brain felt like it had exploded. This is impossible. It's completely impossible. That Gundam. The one Isabelle brought me when she came back. Not only could it move, but it could kill. In the dim light, its eyes glowed with a faint red light. Those weren't eyes. They were cameras. My mind was a whirlwind of terror and disbelief. Bizarrely, my phone, which had been turned off, suddenly rang. I picked it up and looked at the screen. It was my best friend, Leo. Leo was also studying in the States, and a month ago, I had asked him to look into Isabelle for me. I answered the phone, and Leo's frantic voice came through. Ethan, be careful. Isabelle has been lying to you. What do you mean? I asked urgently.
Isabelle Elite.
Leo said. Her parents didn't die in a car crash. She had them committed to a psychiatric hospital. I don't know the full story, but I heard they were supposed to be released a few days ago. But for some reason, they were readmitted yesterday. A cold sweat broke out on my skin. I realized that Isabelle's urgent trip to the US wasn't for paperwork. It was to make sure her parents stayed locked up. What else? Tell me everything. I demanded. Also, Leo added, Isabelle isn't just some student. She's a genius. She goes to one of the top universities in the country, majoring in network information security. The New York Times did a piece on her. She's young, but her computer skills are on par with the world's top hackers. Even the NSA has tried to recruit her. Hearing this, I suddenly remembered the day Isabelle returned. She had taken my phone to add her number. She must have planted a virus on it then. That's how she always knew my every move. No wonder she always showed up at the perfect moment. The fake police report, the rumors, the cat's death, all of Chloe's injuries. It was all Isabelle. I thought time had changed her. How laughable. Isabelle hadn't changed at all. She was still the same monster. She had just pretended to be normal, hiding in the shadows, pulling the strings, waiting for me to let my guard down. She was even more terrifying than before. Suddenly, Leo's call was disconnected. A second later, a text message from Isabelle came through. Hubby, I'm back. I'm right outside. I forgot my key. Can you open the door? What? She was back already. I sucked in a sharp breath, and the phone fell from my trembling hand. Knock, knock. The sound came from the front door. Hubby, why aren't you opening the door? Hubby, open up. Hubby, I know you're in there, and I know that slut Chloe is with you. I don't blame you. She's the one who seduced you. My hair stood on end. A wave of pure terror shot up my spine. Police. I have to call the police. I can't let her in. To my horror, my phone was no longer under my control. The screen was filled with a flood of messages from Isabelle. Hubby, be a good boy and open the door. Okay? I missed you so much. I'm wearing the Lolita dress you like so much today. Hubby, if you don't open this door, I'm coming in myself. Boom, boom. The door shuddered as if being hit by a heavy object. I glanced at Chloe, unconscious on the floor. She was carrying my child. I absolutely could not let Isabelle in. I decided to use my body to barricade the door. Just as I moved to act, a sharp pain shot through my foot. I looked down and saw the Gundam model. It was holding a syringe it had gotten from God knows where, and it had just stabbed me in the leg. My favorite model. My freedom Gundam. There was no freedom. It had become the cage that would imprison me. How ironic. The next second, my head spun. My consciousness began to fade. In the hazy fog of my mind, I heard Chloe's horrific screams, and Isabelle's cold, chilling voice. It was you. You ruined everything between me and my husband. The only one who gets to have my husband's baby is me. Pregnant. You're just a liar. There's nothing inside you. Not a single cell.